Yeah, brother, I'm certainly not going to argue with that, right? Like, everybody's so good now that everything is very, very close, right? Until it isn't. I think Adesanya looked way sharper on the feet, and he was chopping him up, right? Very clearly. And then Piper eventually got that takedown. But it's one of the reasons I also say that it wasn't a favorable matchup for Izzy, right? Like, this is a matchup that was meant to make him look bad. It's kind of ironic. Listen, man, I remember Israel Adesanya's first fight in the UFC. He looked really horrible. He looked like a kickboxer trying to get used to even being in the cage. It didn't seem normal. You know, when you're kickboxing, you can bounce off the ropes and stuff. I've never fought in a cage, but I imagine the cage is slightly different because he wasn't doing any of that stuff. In the cage, you're literally cornered, I guess. And he looked very ho-hum, as heralded as his kickboxing career was. He didn't look that good, quite frankly. But then he went on to do absolutely amazing things. The second coming of Anderson Silva, if you will, which I think we all thought was really cool. A guy like Piper, look, you're never going to make Piper into, well, let's put it this way, he's more Rocky Marciano than he is Floyd Mayweather, right? You're never going to make him into a really slick boxer. I've talked about this. People who are really good at wrestling and people who are really good at striking, a lot of times it comes down to their body composition, how they move, right? Grappling can be very isometric, right? Like you're straining against the wall, you're straining against a person. Stand-up striking is very snap, 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 snap. And maybe that's part of the reason I try to blast all the time in grappling, which you can't do. You've got to know the techniques and perform the techniques. And poor Israel down there behind you, I've noticed myself, as my grappling has slightly improved, but it's still not good. When I get mounted, I have a lot of trouble. And you wouldn't think it would be, right? Getting my hand underneath their legs, pushing them forward, or, even shrimping back to some form of half guard or something. But I have a lot of problems with it. And I think it has to do with something different in fighting. Everybody who becomes comfortable in fighting has a place they can rest, right? Like, I'll tell you this. I'll stand up spar with you, and no matter what, I'm not going to walk off the plank with cardio because I know enough places to hide because I know stand-up that well. I don't have that in grappling. So I'm sort of like this neophyte flying blind, and before I know it, I'm like, whoa, my gas tank's empty. Where do I hide? And I think to a certain extent, Izzy is still like that, right? Like he's that striker that when it gets to grappling, he gets really nervous and it takes a lot of energy. And it's why when he gets flattened, he just gets smash-ola, rock and roll. I think he should work that more. I'm glad he's going to continue because like I said, man, it wasn't a favorable matchup for him, but I'd love to see him in the future. So yeah, there it is. I don't disagree with you, listener. Everybody like and follow for more on the Fight Game.